Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota and Bet365. Like The Undertaker, the Cubs rise from the dead. They wake up and destroy the Cardinals. It is 3 home runs and a beauty by Boyd. Load up the old beer bat. The show's next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? This is CHGO Cubs podcast driven by Toyota. Let's go places and Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Use the code CHGO365 at sign up. Cubs win big 8-0 in St. Louis, snapping their losing streak. And I'm not telling you to leave that Bulls draft party show that's going on the other studio, but they took a French guy you never heard of, so you might as well tune us in.
Thabo Cephalosha.
That's who they drafted. Thabo Cephalosha.
He's from Switzerland, but whatever.
Yeah, same difference.
Yeah.
Hi to everybody in the live YouTube chat here at the new CHGO Cubs YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so right now. Hit the like button. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a total stranger, whoever you might want to take. Cubs offense, we'll talk about Boyd in a bit because he was spectacular. He was great.
Yeah.
But the Cubs offense did their thing tonight, and they put this away. And this was one where we could sit back, eat our free pizza, watch the Bulls guys sweat it out, and just enjoy an evening.
Isn't it nice?
It's better. It's definitely better than the alternative the last few days.
We used to dream of games like this, right?
Now, Cody, will everybody now that panicked the last 3 days and said this team's overrated, they're going nowhere, yada, 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 is this one 8-0 win over the Cardinals enough to say, okay, they're fine. Never worry.
I think you got to split tomorrow. Yeah. And to be fair, I said, I don't know if I said on the show or maybe it was just that I tweeted it. Like I tweeted on Sunday or going into the game Monday at least that I just want to split the series. I don't remember where I said it, but obviously would have loved to win this series, but still a shot to split. And all things considered, considering those last 3 games before this one, this team still has issues. This team still has problems, and one game doesn't change any of that. But they did display tonight why they've led the National League Central and they're a top 3 team in the National League. Like, they displayed why they have been all season tonight. Like, they didn't just win this game. They won this game in dominant fashion and displayed what they've been doing all year, and that is having a great offense. And outside of the last week, I mean, the starting rotation has been better than anyone expected it to be, despite all the injuries they had. You know what I mean? Like, Matt Boyd has objectively been their best starter all season. And he came out.
Agreed.
And gave you, he was a stopper tonight. And he stopped the bleeding. Last night with Corey, I said, who was going to stop the bleeding? And Matt Boyd came out and delivered. It was hot down there in St. Louis. He still went out there and gave you six innings or whatever it was. And hats off to him. But to me, the offense scoring early tonight, that was huge. And
right out of the gate, Hap, the leadoff homer.
Right. You know what I mean? So you needed a game like this to kind of, I feel like the guys can kind of breathe a little bit. Going into tomorrow, Shota Imanaga back tomorrow. You split the series and we go to Houston and see what happens. But Milwaukee won today, so they're still 2.5 back, but St. Louis now 3.5 back. At least you're holding off some people here.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see Hap heating up.
Yeah.
Up to 12 home runs. I mean, that's happened fast, right? Like, he was sitting at 4 just a few days ago, it feels like. He's up to 12. He also had the 2-run single to make it 7-0 in the 4th inning. Yeah, you just watch Kyle Tucker every night and you say, they got to sign this guy. They got to sign this guy. They've got to sign this guy. And it's good to see all of that, right? Like, it's good to see the offense. I know that there were a lot of people in this city and around the country, and around the world, we know that because people around the world are watching this podcast, there were people with at least one or two fingers hovering over the panic button.
Oh, sure.
Hovering over the panic button. And I don't know if this eliminates it. And frankly,
It doesn't.
I don't know that.
Not for those
I don't
fans.
know that splitting eliminates it because people are worried. And if they lose 3 out of 4, I don't know that you should have 4 or 5 fingers over the panic button because the reality is the other teams in their division have flaws too.
Yeah.
And more flaws than the Cubs, in my opinion. So I still think they're the team to beat in this division. I don't think they're going to blow it. Knock on wood.
Knock on all the wood.
Obviously, bad stuff can happen in a season, but right now they're still the best team in the division. They've gone through a little bit of a lull, and this was good to see for everybody's mental health.
Yeah.
Including ours.
Right, I agree. Marzik, I don't know how to say her name, man, but he says I'd like to see a nice 7 or 8 game win streak. I mean, yeah, I'd like us to just win every game the rest of the season, right? But I'd like to see them win like 4 out of 5. Like, I'll start small. Can we win 4 out of 5 or 6 out of 10 or something like that? You know what I mean? Go 6-4 over a 10-game span. I just like to have a nice winning 10-game stretch. You know what I mean? And I know Milwaukee's playing well right now, but outside of this last week, this team's been playing good baseball all season. So I haven't hit the panic button. I didn't even put my hand over the panic button. I've been more annoyed. And then like someone from the Bulls team asked me like, where's what meter I'm at on today?
On a 1 to 10? 10 being totally panicked?
I guess, but I like did it. There's a meme on Cubs Twitter. Shout out to Jeff Everson. It's called the Ian crap meter. And there's like
they drove in 3 runs. Why are they throwing shade his way?
Well, the meter is like the good side is just Ian Happ, and then the bad side is Ian crap.
Gotcha.
And so it goes back and forth. And he actually likes Ian Happ, but he trolls all of the angry Cubs fans. That's kind of his bit. And anyway, I kind of explained it like that, where I said that going into tonight, I was more on just the I'm getting nervous part. And the middle part is like I'm starting to get angry. But like I'm more like I was just starting to get a little nervous because the starting rotation has been bad over the last week. Matt Boyd showed up tonight and asked and did what you needed him to do. And so we'll see if Shota can replicate in some form tomorrow.
Because we don't have the Ian crap meter.
Shout out to Corey Friedman for making that for him, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes.
If 10 is totally panicked and 1 is this team may never lose again, where were you going into this game?
I was more like a 5. Like
a 5 or 6?
I felt good going into this game because it's not like Eric Fetty is like a dominant arm. And the offense has been playing well. It's just all about, well, can Matt Boyd continue to do what he's been doing all season? Honestly, that's how I felt. Like I didn't feel like they were like I didn't feel like it was some crazy math problem going on in my head. Like they're going to need this and this and this to happen. Like the offense has played well. The bullpen bounced back yesterday. And so like if you get those 2 things, you just need your starter to find a way to keep you in the game. And he did more than that. He was dominant tonight.
Yeah, Flat Earth Poker says he's at an 8.5.
I mean, I don't get it.
I can't go that far. Like,
I don't get it.
Personally, if they got swept, I might drop myself to like a 5 or a 6. But going into this game, honestly, I'm like a 2 or a 3. I still think they're the best team. And I've been saying, I don't know, for 50-some days, just get to 500 when Shota returns. Shota's back tomorrow. What are they?
Well
over 500. They have a multiple game lead in the division.
Yep.
And Shota's coming back, and in the trade deadline, they're going to get somebody. And hopefully they'll get a couple good pitchers. And they're going to win this division.
Yeah, they're 14 games above 500.
Okay, so like you can take the pan. I understand why there's things to be worried about. We talk about them every day.
Yeah.
But I also think if you really look at what's going on, you can take the panic button and you can put it in the other room. for now. You could put it in the other room until let's see what Shota looks like when he comes back for a couple of games. Let's see what they do at the trade deadline. If they make no moves at the trade deadline and they stand pat with their prospects again, and they go into the stretch run of the season with the same rotation that they have now, then you can panic a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you can start to panic because I can see reasons why if you went with the same group, it might fall apart. But I can see if you make the right moves why I'd be pretty excited about the way this should go the rest of the way.
If they don't make moves, then yeah, there's a reason to panic.
About the whole franchise.
Yes. Not even just this season, the entire franchise.
Yes.
And that's
life in general.
Like that is a shout out to you. I don't see you in the chat, but that is a true like Godfather extreme. Okay. They're gonna make moves. So part of me understands the anxiety is the nice way I want to put it. But I also like don't understand at the same time because no one wanted to give them credit when they won all those games against bad teams. But like that's what good teams do is you beat the bad teams. And they had such a great month of April against almost the entire NL West. And that's the best division in the league. And I don't care that the Diamondbacks are kind of 500 now and they haven't turned out to be what everyone thought they'd be. They were still, at that time, they were looked at as a really good team and they were healthy.
Right.
And you beat up on them. You beat up on the Dodgers. You split with the Padres. Right. You played a lot of good teams in April. And then you played a lot of bad teams in May. And here in June, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Sure. Yeah, I would have liked to win the series against the Mariners because they're above 500. And I'm tired of people saying that they don't beat teams over 500, even though that's just not true. And like a few other series in June too, like the series against Detroit, they had every chance to win that series. They had every chance to win that Friday game when Skubal and Brown faced off.
Yeah.
They had every chance to go to Philadelphia and take 2 out of 3 there too. There was a heartbreaker in that one too. Like just some things didn't go their way in tight games. And so that is why when you win games like this and no one like takes it that seriously, it's like, well, the more of these type of games you have, the easier it is on your team moving forward down the stretch and stuff. And this is what I talked about a lot last year. Every single day we came in here after a loss and they lost by 1 run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just felt like a heartbreaker every single night. And this year it's like, even if they lose, it's like, okay, whatever. But when they win, it's not like we're sweating it out every single night.
Right.
This one, no one sweat this game.
No. We may look back at the season and look at this game and say that was one of their better wins, more important wins. With the way things were trending, right? Boyd was the stopper that you needed. The offense came through. Haps come to life. Tucker gives you his 16th home run, and Reese McGuire somehow gives you his 5th home run of the season. Oh, and Porter Hodge was added back to the bullpen.
Yeah.
Which was a great thing to see. Now, was he perfect? No, he gave a hit. The first guy I saw give a hit. Great to see him back because I'm interested to see how this is all going to start to look with Palencia, Hodge, Presley, some of the other guys. I'm interested.
Michael
Fulmer. Circle of Trust, maybe.
He's on the graphic.
Maybe.
He's on the graphic. So.
By the way, bless you, Sarah. Did you sneeze so hard that your headset fell off?
I did. I kept it quiet though, so it was
She
like
did a good
body
job.
I heard it was like one of those.
I'm sitting over here having a passionate moment. I'm hearing something like someone sneezing.
Oh,
It's a little stuffy.
I didn't really
here.
even. It was so quiet. I didn't even hear it. I just saw this like flailing of arms and a headset. I think she sneezed her headset off.
I'm a professional. I'll never take your guys'
Thank you.
shine
Yeah.
or your light.
We don't have a sneeze button out here, as far as I know, or a cough button. Anyways, it was a good game for the Cubs. A really good game. Porter Hodge returns, and Matthew Boyd was just as much the star as the offense was. We will talk about him in a second, and we will get your beer bat chug from one Cody Del Mendo. Okay? Everybody's looking forward to that. So in the live YouTube chat, start floating in your predictions for how long this is going to be. 10.25 is considered a quality chug. That's coming up in a second. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. Sign up and use the code CHGO365. Deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, again, if your bet wins or loses. One of their great promos right now on Bet365 is if your team goes up by 5 runs with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app and use that code CHGO365. Again, $150 for new customers and bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. When you use the code CHGO365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. You can use them on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call Crisis Counseling or referral services can be assessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hello, baseball fans. If you're thinking about upgrading your drive this season, Toyota's 2025 lineup is worth a look. There's the RAV4, versatile, reliable, and ready for adventure. Grand Highlander, plenty of room, super comfortable, great for families. Efficiency, how about the Corolla? They got you covered. Smart, stylish, and easy on gas. Need something tougher? There's the Tacoma, serious durability. And finally, the Camry, sleek and packed with performance. Summer starts here, so you can check out the full lineup at Toyota.com or stop by your local Chicagoland Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places. Great time to become a CHGO diehard right now, Cody.
No better time.
$36 for the year is our current deal going on right now. Access our exclusive written content, free t-shirt, plenty of discounts on merch and events, plus access to our CHGO Discord lounge. Go to allchgo.com for the latest information on how you can join our CHGO diehard community. We want to connect with you. 8-0 Cubs crush the Cardinals. Finally, a better day in St. Louis. The Beer Bat Chug is coming up. KM is calling for about 10 seconds. Matthew, an 8.69. I've seen a 6.69 predicted.
Wow. Okay.
But remember, 10.25 seconds is considered a quality Beer Bat Chug. I'd see you're going about 90% quality chug so far this season.
Yeah, I haven't. What's his name? The guy who runs the Beer Bat account.
Bob. Let's just call him Bob.
Yeah, we'll just call him Bob. Bob, he keeps tweeting it, and I keep forgetting where I'm at. So I'll have to go look it up after we do the Beer Bat.
Flat Earth Poker on the chat says 11 seconds, a little slow tonight. Maybe he's a little out of practice.
He's reading me.
Yeah, Will thinks 10.21 just in time for a quality Beer Bat Chug, while Bobby Blanco's calling 10.54, a little bit over.
My buddy Blake is in the chat. He says 7 seconds. He's the guy who had 6. He had like 6 seconds, didn't he, Sarah?
Oh, yeah. He had a CHGO Cubs record.
Yeah.
He had, I think it was under 7 seconds.
It was under 7 seconds. He's literally said, "Here, hold my beer. I'm going to drink this beer."
Well, you always do it with one hand. He used 2 hands.
He literally just
So maybe that's what you need to do.
Listen.
And remember, we're in Studio B, so this is not his normal home field advantage.
We have the luxury to try new things, Cody.
We do, but I'm not going to try them in Studio
Boy,
B.
I tried something new, that Garrett's pink strawberry lemonade.
I actually like that one, yeah.
Delicious.
The popcorn?
Delicious.
Shout out Will Purdue.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right. Are we ready? Oh, dedication. Let's give it to Ian Happ because he owns the Cardinals.
Boom.
Lead off homer, set the tone of the game, had a walk later, had RBI, 2 RBI single later in the game. 27 career homers against the Cardinals now.
Beautiful.
27 homers.
27 of our favorite moments. All right, we're going to get the clock ready. Sarah and I will each do one. Apparently that one's already taken off at your 36 seconds there, Cody.
There we go.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
We haven't even started, Sarah.
I know.
There we go. You got to refresh it. There you go. All right.
All right, here we go. The Beer Bat Chug. When the beer hits his lips, the clock begins. And start. Cody Del Mendo, the Beer Bat Chug. Cubs snap a losing streak. Pound the Cardinals, and he is pounding this beer. Boom! I've got an 8.51.
8.51. Okay.
8.51.
I apologize. The timer on Studio B was not working.
This is why we like Studio A.
That was fast.
8.51 is really good.
That was fast, Cody. I've never seen. That's one of your better ones right there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. One day I'll
lot of
beat,
doubters.
One day I might beat beat Blake's record.
Yeah, DJ Ricks said 6 seconds. Wasn't that fast. Rhonda went 9.75. Josh 9.37. Okay, still good. Anyways, This is our Taking the Temp segment. Your trusted local experts, 4 Seasons, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Visit 4seasonsheatingcooling.com for all your special offers and money-saving coupons. That's 4 Seasons heatingcooling.com. You want to temp check? Boy, it's been hot around here, huh?
Yeah.
Woo! Get that AC fixed. Matthew Boyd has been as good as it gets, as you mentioned earlier in the podcast, for the Cubs this season. And this was another great outing. His 11th quality start. That coming off of, we were a little worried that, he got hit with that line drive in the shoulder, and everything was okay in the side sessions. He was on target, but I thought, I hope he's all right. But he was good. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts, and as we always love, 0 walks.
Yeah.
0 walks. He was just good.
Season ERA down to 2.65. Maybe we're making a case for the All-Star game. I don't know. Did you? Okay.
He's definitely in the Cubs top 5 of Cubs exceeding projections.
He has 91 2/3 innings.
Yeah.
That, first off, that scares me. But also, it's like, remember in the offseason, I was the most worried about his injury history than any other pitcher. And yet we're going to keep knocking on the wood, but he's been the healthiest guy, and he's been the most consistent guy. And I like this.
And if this continues, the healthy, what a bargain.
Right.
What a bargain in signing.
I liked the signing. I just always had a concern about just being able to stay on the field, So, 16 starts, 2.65 earner average. He's 7-3 on the year. I know you like the win-loss record stuff. 82 strikeouts.
What was that for?
I was trying to give you what you wanted.
7 wins, still impressive.
7 wins.
An ERA under 3 is impressive.
Absolutely.
That's what I like. 11 quality starts, impressive. Toyota Super Chat from DJ Ricks. I like the dedicated channel versus the CHGO one. Thanks.
He likes the CHGO Cubs channel.
Subscribe and like. Appreciate
Subscribe and like.
Let's go.
Matthew Boyd has been a terrific signing. I don't know if Jed knows ball or not, as it's we're being asked in the chat, but it sure seems like it with this signing.
Yeah.
That was a good signing. And when you mentioned, we were talking about him being a stopper, right? For a slide, you need your ace to be a stopper, and basically with Shota out, he's been the ace. Shota comes back. I mean, do I see a scenario where I feel comfortable if the Cubs can get to the postseason with Matthew Boyd being the third starter in a playoff series? Yeah. I'd feel real good about this guy starting a third game in a playoff series. If they can add that other pitcher to be a 1 or 2 here, and Boyd is your third best starter on paper, you'll have a different look at what this rotation looks like. And they also would need to add somebody to make it deep enough so that some of these guys can get to that point.
In my highest of hopes or dreams, Matt Boyd is your 4th starter in the postseason, because
a guy with an ERA under 3, the way he's pitching now.
Listen, I don't disagree, but my dream is you have Shota, you have Boyd, and then I still want them to add 2 arms. And again, we're talking about the highest of dreams that I could have, which is probably delusional and unrealistic. But if you can add 2 arms, that one comes in as like, that's going to be your 1-2 with Shota Imanaga, and then the other guy somehow, maybe you get him and you're not expecting as much, but he turns out to be incredible, and you're sitting there we're at the end of the year thinking, man, this guy should start game 2, game 3. And then you have Boyd, who's been doing what he's been doing. Like, I'm not saying that Boyd's bad enough to where he should only be like your game 4 starter of a playoff series. I'm saying that I'm shooting for the stars in terms of adding pitching, right? But obviously it's like, okay, they need, at bare minimum, they need to add a frontline starter and they need to add a depth guy, right? And Boyd can be like your number 3 starter.
in a perfect world, I definitely see a scenario where they even add pitchers, and we'll talk about that more coming up in just a bit on the show. But I could see a scenario where they add somebody, and let's just throw out a name, Alcantara, right?
Sure.
And let's say he kind of continues this roller coaster return. I could still see a scenario where the Cubs could be very successful in the postseason, and Boyd could be your number 2 starter. Shota could be 1, Boyd could be 2, and Alcantara, you hope you get the good Alcantara in the postseason, and then you're mixing and matching guys depending on matchups.
Well,
I would love to see that.
I realized this today. Sandy Alcantara pitched on Sunday against the Braves, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. So that's 4 quality starts here in the month of June after being terrible in April and May. Again, coming off Tommy John. We know how guys coming off Tommy John do. I think the stuff is there, the velocity is there, and that's the important stuff, I think. But it is good to see results finally coming for him. I still think the Marlins are going to hold on to him until the last day before the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. Unless someone comes calling with an offer they can't refuse, which is then, let's just say the Cubs in this instance would be probably overpaying. But the point I'm getting at here is that it seems like he's turning the corner and he's starting to look like the guy that won a Cy Young in 3 years ago, right? And so,
well, if he's healthy,
yeah,
and he goes back to being the guy he was or very close to it, he's a beast.
Yeah, no, I
he's
agree.
A beast.
So if someone in the chat, I think it was Ramon or maybe it was Carter Hawkins or Vanilla Chill. I don't remember who did it. Yeah, Carter Hawkins, Alcantara, and Edward Cabrera. Who,
we're gonna get to that.
We what was it this morning? Ken Rosenthal threw those guys out there as, like, per his sources, the Cubs have checked in on both of those guys, and it's not surprising. We all kind of knew that already, but you got Boyd and Shota, you add and whoever you add this deadline, and then who knows what they do with Cade, and who knows what's going to happen with Tyone. I like Tyone as a depth starter, as someone who is a veteran.
4 or 5.
He's a 4
innings
or 5
eater.
Innings eater. It's just like, how do you feel about him in a playoff series, though? And that's always been my biggest concern. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't throw him out there. It's more of he's like he's like your 4th starter on a in a playoff series.
You don't panic about it. I would feel okay with Tyone starting a playoff game, and I know some people go, What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Because it means I'm getting deeper into the series, and it also means I could have a quick hook on him and go straight to the best arms I have to keep the series going or to win it, right?
I hear you, yeah.
Do I feel okay with Tyone pitching 3 innings of a playoff game? Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. If he's bad, you'd rip him out of there.
Yeah.
But he's also had some really good outings where he might give you more than that. We're going to talk about Shota's return coming up. Remind me about the Tommy John thing that you were talking about when we come back from break, about Alcantara coming back from Tommy John, and how long does that take? Remind me to comment on that. And we're going to talk about all of the trade rumors that were out there in the last 24 hours, players that are being mentioned around the Cubs, who the Cubs are calling about, all of those situations and more. But first, a word from our great sponsors here at CHGO.
Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. It's a one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs, Luke. It has an expertly curated menu. And if you're starting out, Sunnyside has expert guidance and brands that you know you'll love, like Good News and Mindy's. If you're a pro, they got you covered with over 100 strains on the menu and new ones added daily, expertly curated again. We know you'll love Cresco and Florcal's incredible quality and consistent products as well. So visit sunnyside.shop for Bright Buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Again, that's your first 3 online purchases. Use promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, Bright Buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders. And for existing users, use promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Labs brand item.
And tell them Corey sent you. Hey, just like the Cubs need a home field advantage, your home needs a home flooring advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on it every day. We've all been to the big box store. You walk around, the neon lights put you in kind of a haze, and the person helping you in their maybe flooring department might have been selling sinks yesterday. Empire Today lives and breathes flooring. That's all they do. Their experts will bring the showroom right to your home. You could pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space. Get precise measurements taken. Have all the questions answered. There's no surprises. And with Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule that installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. Some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners, $350 discount. All you got to do is put in CHGO as the code. You heard me right. $350 off with the code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/CHGO for full details. Cubs lost the first 2 games of this series. Now they have finally won one, 8-0 over the Cardinals, a no-doubter. Yep. A nice, easy Wednesday here in Chicago as we watched that game on Marquee. And now, tomorrow afternoon, the Cubs have a chance to split the series with the Cardinals, return the world to its rightful place with Shota Imanaga on the mound. Mm-hmm. Do you realize it's been 52 days since he pitched
I
for the
miss
Cubs?
him so much.
52 days since that hamstring started becoming an issue. That's a long time.
You want an old school Delmetrics stat?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't math, but go ahead, hit me with it.
He shows up to Busch Stadium tomorrow wearing the Jordan 1s and wearing something Chicago with a backwards hat on. This guy's going to shove tomorrow.
What if he showed up to Busch Stadium in a 45 Jordan jersey?
That would make no sense, but I'm here for it. Wear
the 4-5 like Jordan, not to play games with you.
Yeah. Yeah, like the I'm back thing.
Yes.
That's
what I'm saying. I'm back.
Okay.
Maybe, what if he walked in?
Now I get it.
What if he walked in wearing the 4-5
and
held up a sign for Marquee, I'm back, and just dropped it down?
Or if he just had a piece of paper and they handed it to someone, handed it to
and then the person looked at it and turned it around. I'm back. Wear the 4-5.
If that happens, something like that happens,
throwing it out there
tomorrow.
Scotty Shags, if you're listening, suggest it to Shota.
Yeah, right.
Get a hold of him tonight.
That's an old school Delmetrics stat for you right there.
How many
That's
innings?
all based off vibes.
7+ weeks. Yeah. How many innings do we think?
I think he goes 5.
5 innings?
Yeah. I don't want him to push it.
Because I think he's going to throw 80 pitches max.
One thing I do like is that it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
I like that he's, it's not like he's coming back from a hamstring and it's 40 degrees at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
I love that at least we're in the warmer weather. Listen, it was a long time. He was out a long time. The silver lining is if the Cubs were able to stay above water, stay in first place, stay well above 500 without their top 2 starters, if Shota can come back, no reason he shouldn't at some, might take a couple starts. If he can come back, now you got a really fresh arm that other teams may not have when you get to the big games at the end of the season. So I don't know what do I expect. Like 7+ weeks of being out is a long time. So I honestly expect to see a little bit of rust.
Yeah.
Or a little too much juice. Like he's just a little too amped up early on.
Yeah. Godfather is triggering my PTSD. Birdie and Brujan and Turner in the lineup tomorrow.
My.
I'm like, if we get that lineup tomorrow, just throwing the series away on a day that Shota Imanaga's back, I will be upset. I might be so upset or pissed off that I'll join Corey and Brendan at 8 o'clock tomorrow for a segment just to complain about the lineup and just punting games when we don't need tomorrow's game matters because it's a divisional opponent. It's not the Phillies, it's not the Mariners, whatever. We're talking about a divisional opponent. Craig Counsell better put a winning lineup, their best lineup out there tomorrow So I know Godfather, I don't know if he's trolling or if he's just being negative. It's a little bit of both, I feel like, these days from him. But like, if that is what we get tomorrow, I'll be pissed. So, yeah, let's try and split the series tomorrow, because it's a divisional opponent. You need to win your divisional games.
We mentioned Shota's coming back from the hamstring injury. We know Steele had the Tommy John surgery, so it's going to be a long time. He'll probably be back at some point next season.
Yep.
But one of the reasons I like the Alcantara deal, if they were to make that trade for the right pieces, is that he would have multiple years afterwards, and he would fill some of that gap with Steele out. Also, don't forget, what's happening to Alcantara in his return could very well happen to Justin Steele. So even if Steele is back, I don't know, middle of the season next year from Tommy John surgery, there could be a major adjustment period for him trying to work his way back before his arm and his pitching is really back to 100%, right? So if you can get Alcantara back to being right, and you've got it, now you have your ace, you have Shota, and you hope Boyd is still doing his thing. Now you got bang, bang, bang. And then if this team, is still around and, hey, Kyle Tucker's been signed, dream.
Dream.
Now you carry whatever happens this season and hopefully into the postseason, into next year, and then when Steele finally gets healthy, you'd be looking at a wicked 4 potentially.
Yeah.
You'd be looking at a wicked 4, and hopefully Cade Horton continues his ascension, and
Ben Brown too.
Right, and now you're talking about
if they're
a dominant pitching rotation potentially.
Yeah.
I like the Alcantara deal. So we've heard a lot about him, right? Ken Rosenthal said Alcantara and Edward Cabrera. We know that. The Cubs are calling about any team that has available pitching.
Yeah.
Period. If they think a guy's available, the Cubs are calling about him.
Right.
Doesn't mean a deal's going to get done. But to think these are the only guys they've asked about, I highly doubt it. We had Bob Nightingale mention Luis Severino of the A's, even though he's the first year of a 3-year deal he signed, but affordable. Also an affordable deal, and a guy we said in the offseason, I'd be interested in him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, as far as Alcantara, we talked about him so much. I don't know what else to really say other than, like, I think fans that are worried about, his health and if he can get back to being that guy and the risk and what prospects you give up for him and stuff like that. It's just, let me just say, like, in the offseason, the entire chat and social media, Cubs Twitter, no one wanted to trade for Jesus Luzardo because of injury risk.
Nobody was excited about Matthew Boyd either.
Yeah. So
the bottom line is pitchers get hurt.
Yeah. I think that Sandy Alcantara, if the trend of what's happening here in June continues, that instills more confidence. The only problem with that is that the price becomes more. Now, he still has an ERA above 6 right now, but that could be a lot. It could be under, the way he's going right now, it could be under 5 by the time July 30th comes around, So I don't know how much that changes the price. All I'm saying is, at some point, if you care about winning the World Series, if you care about making, like, actually doing some form of chaos in October, you're gonna have to take a risk. You're gonna have to take a risk. This is the path they chose. If it was up to me, this will align with Godfather. If it was up to me, they would have signed Max Fried. They didn't do that, and honestly, it's like karma with Justin Steele getting hurt. And that's a whole thing that I can go on a tangent about in the offseason. Not trying to do it now. This team is good. But we are where we're at. They're going to have to add pitching, and you're going to have to trade some dudes. I did a video today on our page, on our Twitter account, talking about Alcantara, and I said that if it was up to me, I would trade anyone in the system not named Cade Horton or Jackson Wiggins. Okay. To me, it doesn't make sense to trade Cade Horton for a pitcher. And Jackson Wiggins is the next best pitching prospect after that. Now, that might be a little unrealistic because the Marlins probably want a pitcher if they're going to trade Sandy Alcantara.
Sure.
So they're like Brandon Birdsell's available. But do they? What I'm curious about is what prospects they're interested outside of Owen Casey. They obviously like Owen Casey. That's been in the reports. So we don't
know. We don't know.
All I'm saying is that I'm willing to move anyone in this farm system for a guy like Sandy Alcantara. Like, let's just say Sandy Alcantara and Edward Cabrera. Throw them both in there. I would take, for the both of them, I would move anyone out of this farm system outside of Cade Horton and Jackson Wiggins.
You can't be afraid to trade your prospects.
Yeah.
You have to believe in the system
Right.
of developing players. You hope that you've actually figured that out.
Yeah.
And you can't be afraid of losing one guy.
Right.
And I hope that trading Jackson Ferris is a sign of that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he was highly thought of. They traded him. Some people were worried. Michael Busch has turned out to be a really good everyday player.
Yeah.
I'll say it till I'm blue. You can't hold on to everybody because if you do, you're going to end up with a lot of Brendan Davis situations.
Sure.
Guys that would have brought you huge hauls at some time, but you waited so long that they never made it and never impacted your team.
Now, I do agree with Vanilla Chill, who says you also can't drain young talent. I'm curious of where Jed Hoyer is thinking.
You can if you draft really well.
Yeah, but also like you're gonna need some guys for next year too.
I know. I'll just be sick if the Dodgers offer up a prospect better, and then you're looking at the Dodgers with Alcantara, and he recaptures his old magic, and he's pumping 99 in the postseason. You're like, wow, we could have used that.
Well, I mean, if they don't get Alcantara, then a lot of then what is Mitch Keller and David Bednar? The other rumor that came out today is that plan B as we sit here, or Luis Severino? Like, I don't know how much that moves the needle. I do think Mitch Keller has high upside, and he has been healthy outside of Alcantara.
But don't you want Keller to be the second pitcher you get, not the first?
I want Keller, at least at this point, I want Keller to be like I see him like Matt Boyd, except with a higher ceiling. I think he can be better than Matt Boyd. He's shown flashes of being like a top of the rotation guy. This year it hasn't been that way. He came to Wrigley and he got roughed up by the Cubs.
Right.
But we've seen him be awesome before. So I don't know what to think about Mitch Keller. All I know is that he's been healthy. He's made 30-plus starts each of the last 3 years, pitched over 150 innings each of the last 3 years. He's on a 5-year, $77 million deal, and he's in year 2 of it right now. That's a very team-friendly deal. And he's durable and has pitched a lot of innings. He's kept the bad Pirates in games. You know what I mean? Like, all I'm saying is there is value there with him. And I feel like the way I'm explaining him is kind of like Jameson Taillon, but I think he's way better than Jameson Taillon.
I think he could replace Taillon eventually.
Yeah. Bednar is a guy that, like, maybe that's more
intriguing. I wanted
intriguing.
a couple years ago. Now, Bednar has been their closer for a long time. Really had some struggles, was taken out of the role, now is back in it. He'd be an interesting arm to add with Hodge, give you a little comfort zone of a guy who's had some experience in the big leagues. He'd be with Hodge, Palencia, Bednar, Presley. You'd have a couple veteran guys, a couple young guys, and you'd have guys that throw hard. The Keller thing intrigues me for, what reason I'm thinking, Cody? The T-shirts. Law offices of Keller and Keller. All we do is provide wins.
Keller
print
and
the shirt.
Mitch Keller. Yeah.
Keller and Keller will win for you.
I've always kind of liked Mitch Keller. And he's on a great deal. He's 29. Bednar,
I just don't want him. Don't take this the wrong way. I just don't want him to be
the ace
that they're acquiring, or the number 2 starter that they're acquiring.
I agree.
I want him to be the second guy that that's how big I want the Cubs to go.
Yeah.
I want them to get you. Was it Vanilla Chill that said Alcantara and Keller?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work for me.
Yeah. I feel like that
would work for me.
That's like the dream.
Or it doesn't even have to be Keller. Alcantara and another guy like Keller.
Would you
Alcantara and
Severino?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that.
Okay. All right.
And I'm willing to give up some prospects for that.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about all these dudes that we're talking about is even Edward Cabrera, they have multiple years of team control. It's none of them are rentals. And that's the thing though, is that of what's going to cost the Cubs prospect capital in this. And that's why I go back to the whole you could assign Max Fried and this and that.
Yeah.
But again, pausing that until the offseason is what it is. Those are some really intriguing options, and it's still early here before the trade deadline. But I'm happy to see that the Cubs are out here talking to people.
One more thought on this in a second, but first, a word from our great sponsors. Hello, Monarch Money. This is more than your average budgeting app. Monarch Money is complete financial command center for your accounts, investments, and goals. Don't just manage your money. Start building wealth with 50% off your first year for our listeners. With all your accounts, credit cards, and investments in one place, you know where your money stands without the hassle. Track your money, spending, savings, investments effortlessly. Named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. Financial stress, one of the top reasons relationships fall apart. Monarch Money makes these conversations so much easier. Track shared and individual accounts, set goals together, keep money check-ins, drama-free, plus you can even share access. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use the code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code CHGO.
Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake is kicking off the summer with big savings, Luke, all month long. Come in today and shop the summer sales event and drive home with $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevy models. Check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you are sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. Plus, Ray's Price Promise lets you shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. Go see for yourself. Visit our partner at their convenient location right on Route 12 in Fox Lake. And don't miss out on their summer sales event going on all month long for $10,000 off MSRP on new Chevy models. You can't beat it. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive, Luke. It's a great deal.
10 grand off MSRP. Hello, Ray.
Let's go.
Stucky's on his way. So we were talking about trade possibilities, right? Guys that you could add to the rotation. We saw Boyd. We've talked about, hey, would Boyd be, in a perfect world, if you could have Boyd be your number 3 starter in the postseason. Now you're really talking about something. Shota, somebody, Boyd. And then you can go Tyone and then yada, yada, yada. And I do like the idea of somebody has to be in between there, and then the high upside, maybe control, whether it's Keller or Severino or somebody else. But I want to throw out one more idea for this. And it's not another name. It's just something the Cubs did last year that I said they should do, and they did it. And that is, just because you give up prospects now to maybe go get Keller as your second starter, right? Let's throw out that scenario. They give up 2 really good guys to go get Alcantara, and they give up another really good top 100 prospect and somebody else to go get Keller. It doesn't mean that you can't take Keller or Severino or whomever you want to talk about, and then in the offseason, after they've done their help for you, reaching the postseason, take them and go get prospects back again in the offseason. If you feel like Steele's on track and he's going to be good enough and you've got enough because Horton and Brown are going to develop and you won't need those guys, you flip it and you go get some prospects back.
Kind of like what you did with Isak Paredes.
Correct.
Even though that would turn into Kyle Tucker.
Or the opposite could happen. Yeah. You could develop and you could have Keller and or Severino or whoever you want to talk about, and you could say, you know what? Now, as much as I like him, Ben Brown could go get me some prospects. Maybe I can go get a younger prospect for a Ben Brown, and I can redo it. The other philosophy is you hold on to all of them. Why? Because the pitching in this division is starting to look pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And you're going to need to go toe-to-toe with some of these teams. And, yeah, I don't know where Shota stacks up against, if you want to say best pitchers in the division, but you could have you may not have the ace of the division. Even if Alcantara were to come back and be the guy that he was before or close to it, you still could be dealing with Skeens. You still could be dealing with Hunter Green. You still could be dealing with Mizorowski.
Chase Burns.
Right? So, but you could have the best five, a dominant five where there's little separation between 2, 3, 4, 5 or 1, 2, 3, 4 are almost all the same. I'm totally cool with that too. Now, the pitching showdown, if you didn't notice it today, was for the first time Mizorowski of the Brewers against Skeens of the Pirates, both 23 years old.
Yep.
And, man, would you dream of having these two guys on your team? Yes. Mizorowski outpitched him. And he's been unbelievable for 3 games.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been really good. I know he's walked some guys, but
I don't have any criticism or I'm not even going to try and play devil's advocate. You're correct. He went 2 starts without giving up a hit or something like that.
Yeah, one hit and 2 starts or something like that. Now 5 shutout today, 2 hits.
And he throws gas just like Skeens. What's crazy about Skeens is today he only touched 100 miles per hour once.
Really?
Today. Which is weird. I'm just saying. But listen, if the Cubs are going to have one of those guys, that's Cade Horton next year, you know what I mean? Or maybe it's Cade Horton now, but no one's talking about it because he hasn't had a start like that where he's gone 7 innings and no runs and struck out 13 dudes and this or that. But we can't sit here and say that Cade Horton's been bad for the Cubs. He's been awesome for the Cubs.
He's been really good.
Would it be nice to develop a guy like these 2 dudes? Sure. I mean, Skeens, the Pirates didn't develop him. He was awesome at LSU, and they tanked enough to get him, okay? Mizorowski, it just sounds like the Brewers, devil magic once again doing what the Brewers devil magic does. Give him a lot of credit, but also I wish they'd stop. But, and Chase Burns made his debut yesterday, struck out 5 Yankees, first 5 batters he faced. Cool, whatever. No one's ever seen him. I need to see more before I think that, okay, this guy's going to be an ace down the line. But no, I think they're that top prospect or whatever, one of the top prospects in baseball. So I get the hype and all that. So at the same time, though, they said the same thing about Hunter Green. And it took Hunter Green a long time to get to even this level. So these pitchers outside of Skeens, I'm going to hold back a little bit from giving them their flowers or whatever, before I say that these dudes are, a problem for the Cubs. But also, the Cubs have some problems of their own in terms of their own young pitchers that are going to be a problem for other teams. Cade Horton's a problem. And if they do keep Jackson Wiggins, I think he's going to be a problem too. Because of, I don't remember who the player was, and I think it was in Just Baseball's top 100 prospects. Jackson Wiggins entered their top 100 recently because someone graduated. So they're an outlet like that is recognizing the Cubs farm system. Wiggins has been awesome in the minors this year. I'm excited to see his growth if he continues to be with the Cubs, if they don't trade him. I hope they don't trade him, but if we have to trade him to go try and make a playoff run, so be it.
My point is just that the division has good pitching.
Yes,
good young pitching in it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Cubs make some big moves so they have a surplus of pitching with Steele out, and then you have options. And some of it can be used to get prospects back. Maybe you just go in it with a surplus of pitching because you've noticed this year, you know what? You can't have enough of these guys. You just can't.
Yeah. No,
and I'm okay with that too because pitchers drop like flies.
I agree.
And when they get hurt, they're usually hurt for, we're lucky, 52 days. Steele, not so lucky, the whole season and more. Yeah. So those are some of the options. We only got 5 minutes left in the show. I wanted to mention that this is not bagging on Sox fans, but the fan that was banned from all Major League ballparks today for yelling at Ketel Marte in the game yesterday. He was yelling Marte's mother died in a car accident in 2017. And the fan was apparently heckling Marte loud enough that they heard it in the dugout, started bawling on the field. They ejected the fan, who apologized and admitted his mistake after the game. Now Major League Baseball stepped in and said, you're no longer welcome at a Major League ballpark for doing that to one of our players. I'm glad the fan realized it was wrong. Mm-hmm. It crossed the line. When you make a player weep on the field during a game, you've gone too far. And the fans on the south side gave him a round of applause, Marte.
And the Sox
before
did a nice
today's
thing.
game.
They put the thing on the board or whatever, the video board.
They did. Well,
It
it was a bad look yesterday. They did the right thing removing the fan. I'm glad the fan has remorse. Can we just be nicer to each other? Like even in the chat, just for a little bit. Can we not be so quick to jump on somebody you think can't say something back to you?
Yeah.
I know that social media, and I know even for a show like us, right?
Yeah.
Would I say, I'm just picking a name. I've never said this about the guy, but like if Tyone had a bad game, if I just started railing on Tyone last night and saying all kinds of miserable stuff on him, would I say it to his face? If you wouldn't say it to their face, then maybe don't say it.
You have no idea what's going on in someone's life. You
None.
have no idea what
None.
kind of day they had, good, bad, mediocre, whatever, and just be nicer to people. I saw that.
It'd be okay. I think it'd be like, honestly, I don't care if we lose viewers or followers just for being slightly nicer. It does, not everything has to be such a hot take that you're threatening some guy's family that's got to, or talking about his dead mother from a couple years ago.
Sports are supposed to give
come
people
on.
a distraction, joy, have some entertainment. It should not be a place to take your anger out on real human beings.
It's sad where we are at as a society as a whole. Like outside of just like this particular incident, like I can't go online without seeing hate in some form on a daily basis. It's like almost normalized in my daily life now. You know what I mean? Like I work online, like on social media,
Sure,
so like
yeah.
that's expected. But the point I'm making is like that's sad that it's like that. You know what I mean? And so,
And I'm not saying I'm not guilty of some of it too.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I'm
have
sure
I
I've done
ever
some
have I ever
things.
been cut off or watched that person where I'm sitting at 2 hours of traffic trying to get home, and I watch these, you know what's going by in the closed down lane, and they're all ripping around 4, 5, 6 at a time, and then all of a sudden they want to cut in 10 cars later, and you're like, oh man, I wish bad things on those people.
Right.
But I don't know what's going on. They're like, look, whatever. I got home 15 minutes later.
right. Yeah. No,
I try to remind myself. So it's just
I've had my
Public
fair,
service
I've had my
announcement.
fair moments of freaking out on people, even on social media, because maybe I read something that I take the context out of it wrong, and we all make that mistake. And I just try to be a better person on a daily basis. That's all you can do is try and be better.
There's definitely a line that can be crossed.
For sure, yeah.
That's
And with
the
that
thing.
fan,
don't get me wrong. I've heckled at a game.
Right, you can have fun.
I don't think I said anything about a
I've heckled
deceased
at
parent.
people.
oh, I sit in left field at Wrigley Field. We heckle
Yeah.
whoever's the opposing left
But
fielder.
we never
every
cross a
game.
line.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We keep it fun.
But you know what? To be totally fair, I'm not like I don't know who this person is. They're obviously from Chicago. You can't hold that against what that fan did can't be held against them for the rest of their lives either. They made a stupid mistake. They probably thought it was funny and started to heckle some guy, and then the guy started crying, and I'm pretty sure they felt awful.
Yeah.
I would hope.
I'll say real quick, we got another Toyota
Oh.
Super Chat from DJ Ricks. Be kind, drink wine.
All right.
Oh,
I agree with that.
I agree with that. My girlfriend would agree with that too.
I once had a slogan in 2009. My yearly slogan was "No wine in '09," but it was WHINE. And Pat Boyle told me I kept that up for about 18 hours.
We have 50 seconds, so I
Okay.
want to give some shout-outs from some of the dudes
Hit
from
'em.
today's game. All right, we didn't mention him. Reese McGuire, another
Boom.
home run today. What, he's got 5 homers
5.
with the Cubs. All right,
18 from Cubs catchers.
Kyle Tucker solo shot today, or 2-run. I don't remember. He hit a
2-run.
homer. Extend this man already. And
30 seconds.
I thought someone else hit a homer.
Ian Happ?
Well, Ian Happ hit we mentioned him, but he hit the the leadoff homer. Like, this team slugs. We split tomorrow. We need to split tomorrow. No excuses. I'm not saying it's must win, but I'm saying it's must win. We need to split with the Cardinals tomorrow.
Do it.
Do
Thanks
it.
for watching.
Corey and Brennan, 8 p.m.
Subscribe.
tomorrow.
And thanks for watching and Fly the W. As always.
We all silly like the mayor.